The wedding had barely started when my son's new bride leaned toward me and made a demand. I never expected to hear. She said I had two choices: buy them a house or accept that I would never see my grandchildren again. Everyone around us was smiling and celebrating, while I sat there trying to understand how my own son had allowed this to happen. Then I remembered the folder I had carried into the wedding. I quietly walked toward the microphone. What I revealed next changed the entire room. And within 4 hours, the marriage everyone had gathered to celebrate was already falling apart. My name is Everett, and I have spent most of my life working quietly, so my son Callum could have opportunities I never had. I never spoiled him with luxury, but I always made sure he had a safe home, a good education, and a chance to build his own future. When he told me he was getting married to a woman named Marin, I was genuinely happy for him. She was confident, intelligent, and very good at making a strong first impression. During the months before the wedding, Marin started making comments about money. She would mention expensive neighborhoods and beautiful houses. She would tell Callum that a married couple should start life properly. I assumed they were simply dreaming about their future. Then came the wedding day. The ceremony was beautiful. Everyone was dressed perfectly. The photographs were being taken, and the reception was filled with music and laughter. I thought the difficult conversations were behind us. Then Moran approached my table. She sat beside me and quietly said that she and Callum had chosen the house they wanted. She said it was expensive, but that I could afford it. I told her I had never promised to buy them a house. Her smile disappeared. She leaned closer and said that if I refused, she would make sure I barely saw my grandchildren once they started a family. I stared at her because I could not believe what I was hearing. Then she added that Callum understood the situation and had already agreed with her. I looked across the room at my son. He would not meet my eyes. For several minutes, I said nothing. Then I reached under my chair and picked up the folder I had brought with me. I walked toward the microphone. The room slowly became quiet. I told everyone that I had come to the wedding. Something important, because I wanted to give my son one final gift. It was not a house. It was the truth. Inside the folder were documents showing the house my son believed I owned had already been placed into a protected family trust years earlier. I had done it after my wife passed away because I wanted the property protected for future generations. But there was more. I also had messages Marin had sent to Callum discussing the house demand before the wedding. In those messages, she talked about using future grandchildren as pressure. If I refused to pay, Callum finally stood up. He looked shocked. He said he knew Marin wanted a house, but claimed he never knew she planned to threaten me with my future grandchildren. Marin grabbed his arm and demanded that he stop embarrassing her. That was when Callum finally pulled away. He told her that if their marriage depended on threatening his father, then maybe they should not be married. The reception became completely silent. People began leaving the room. The wedding had taken months to plan, but the trust between them disappeared in minutes. 4 hours after the ceremony, Callum told me the marriage was over. I did not celebrate. I did not feel victorious. I simply told my son that a home should be built on love and trust, not fear and financial demands. That night, I learned something I will never forget. Sometimes the biggest gift a parent can give an adult child is not money or property. Sometimes it is the courage to say no before a bad decision destroys their entire future. Callum lost his marriage that day, but he also gained the chance to understand what real love should look like. And I kept the folder because I never wanted to my grandchildren grow up believing that love can be purchased with a house. If you believe family should be built on respect instead of money,